All right, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another NDP Monday Night Live. We're coming to you live from the NDP headquarters. And again, I'm your host, Colin Graham. It's a pleasure being here with you on another edition of the NDP Monday Night Live. Once again, I'm joined with the Vice President of the New Democratic Party, the Honorable Patel Matthews. He is the spokesperson on agriculture here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the New Democratic Party, and this is part 2. So let us say good night once again to the Honorable Patel Matthews and welcome once again to the NDP Night Time.
Hey, my brother. Good night, Colin. It's a pleasure to be here. I know the last time I was here, I told you I'll be back, but I did not anticipate it would be so soon. But I am here.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here again. Patel, the last time you were here, we were speaking extensively on agriculture. There were quite a few pronouncements being made by yourself from the New Democratic Party. Some of the things that we will implement going forward under an NDP government. One would be a Ministry of Agriculture and the Fisheries. And of course, separating the fisheries from the Ministry of Agriculture and putting forward a Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Conservation. I just want you to just touch on that again to just refresh the minds of persons as to why such a move.
Okay, now Colin, you know, over the years, we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and a number of Caribbean islands, I should say, have twin agriculture and fisheries. Agriculture by itself has a very large portfolio of different sectors within the agriculture ministry. Fishing has played an important role in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for many years. And as the world advances, we are seeing that fishing is becoming an integral part of everyday life because people are starting to eating healthy and fish is one of those choice of foods. There are also other areas that we could capitalize using the marine or the ocean, as we say. So we in the New Democratic Party, we have looked at it, we have talked to experts, as a matter of fact, and we have come to the conclusion that at a small island state, one that is prone to disasters and other effects, it is important that we take a very serious look at what we are going to do when we go forward, as in a government of the New Democratic Party. And hence the reason why we have taken the very bold initiative of creating a Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Conservation. Now, my brother, this is to me is a big thing. Because for the very first time in our country, we are going through a path that is going to create not only a better life for Vincentian, in my opinion, and in the opinion of my party, but will create jobs for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially where our young people are concerned and the need for jobs in this country. Colin, you could interrupt me anytime you want to. Colin, let me tell you something. One of the new in thing now, that a lot of countries are talking about, especially small island states, is the progression towards a blue economy. Now, to some Vincents, they must say, a blue economy? What is that?
Exactly. What is a blue economy?
Now, this idea, this terminology, is a 20th century terminology. But some of the sectors within a blue economy has been in practice for generations. Now, let me give you two definitions for a blue economy. One of the definitions is simply this: all economic activities related to oceans, seas, and coasts. And blue economy covers a wide range of interlinked, established, and emerging sectors. That's one definition. The World Bank defines the blue economy as the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improve livelihoods, creating jobs, while preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem. The latter definition, as by the World Bank, is on the same trajectory that we in the New Democratic Party is looking at this blue economy. We believe that as a small island state, my brother, that St. Vincent and the Grenadines stands to benefit a great deal.
How so?
Okay. Now, in my discussion, or my definition for a blue economy, I mentioned to you that we have established and emerging sectors. Now, let me look at the established sectors as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Presently.
We have fish fishing generally. Whether it's by seine, whether it's by long line fishing, whether it's by fish pot, whether it's by trammel, whether the people going to catch treachery, whether it's them guys going to shoot the fish as we say spear fishing, and all of that. That aspect of fishing is only one sector within the blue economy. As I said, we have been practicing this for years. So
like sustainable fishing.
Exactly, sustainable fishing. And even to some extent where we do a bit, but at commercial fishing, but not in any big way. Now we also have coastal tourism. It's another aspect of the blue economy, another sector. And coastal tourism is when we use, like we have lovely beaches in our country, lovely beaches. And in the Grenadines, for example, you have white, lovely sand beaches, white sand beaches where people come and they set up hotels and so on because of the beach attraction, because of the white sand, the turquoise water.
Right.
Like what we have in the Tobago Keys, where on a good day you have hundreds of yachties in Tobago enjoying that kind of thing. So it's coastal tourism, using the coastline, the beaches, the reefs have you
as a product,
to bring tourists into the country. Maritime transportation, we have it every day between the main and the Grenadines.
Right.
And there was a talk at one time to extend this road, CARICOM. So we use the sea again, the ocean, for that kind of purpose. So all these, as I said, these are established sectors within the blue economy that we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are accustomed to traditionally. However, from the perspective of the New Democratic Party, what we are saying, we feel we should dig deeper, find out how more we can benefit from these established sectors, and also look at the emerging sectors within the blue economy.
What are some of the areas that you're looking at and the NDP is looking at presently and going in that direction?
Okay, like for example, let me use North Leeward as an example. You have heard me talk on many occasions, Colin, about the beauty of the North Leeward constituency.
Right.
And I have talked about one of the attractions that the New Democratic Party has in store for a constituency like North Leeward is that of a ferry boat and also zip lining from La Soufrière down to the Richmond Beach area. That because of the sea again, so we are using the coastal, the blue economy settings then, put it away, and introduce a product of a ferry boat, to twin that with zip lining and to sell that as a product for tourists. So that's what we're talking about. So what we have is to improve on it,
right,
to see how we can benefit on it.
So
and by benefiting, we're creating entrepreneurs, we are creating businesses, and in return, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will benefit.
So we have all these avenues that clearly we can improve on going forward.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the fisheries. Let's go back to the fishing industry. How do you see some of the areas, or where do you see some of the areas where we can improve on our fishing industry? Time and time again, we've looked at the possibilities of expanding our markets, and who do we market our fish to, and what's that in terms of how can we improve it?
Okay, Colin, one of the first that we need to do, and towards the end of the New Democratic Party in office, that was in the early 21 thereabout, right? The early 21. The New Democratic Party, prior to that, had developed a relationship with the European countries where we had passed the Eurogap standard, so we could have shipped fisheries product, fish and fish product into the EU market. For some reason, we lost that opportunity because our major fish market in Kingston was not up to the standard required for Eurogap certification. So we lost that. And I can recall very vividly, Colin, this administration, the Unity Labour Party, chastised the NDP for that and said they will change it and said that they will ensure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is again Eurogap certified.
Right.
After 20 years, Colin, we still have not passed the threshold. We still cannot ship into the EU market as we would love to. So one of the first things a new NDP administration will do is to find out what the problems are. Why are we not reaching the required level to enable us to be Eurogap friendly or we have the Europe qualification. Why are we not getting it? So we have to do that. Even though we have markets now in the US, for example, I understand we have market in far as Japan when it comes to our lobsters. But we have to do more than that. Because listen, in order for us to create the jobs that we say we're going to create, we have to make sure that we have a bigger market. So that when our fisher folks have made the investment and they have the products, then they should be able to get their products market. So the New Democratic Party will ensure that we do what is required to ensure that we are Eurogroup certified. Apart from that, Colin, we have to put the resources in the hands of those persons who are the stakeholders within the fishing industry. Talking about the fisher folks themselves. Without the proper equipment, the nets, boat, engine, and other equipment necessary to harvest from the sea, it wouldn't make sense. So we have to give them the resources necessary.
So you're identifying some of the areas where in the fishing industry itself that we can improve on.
Yes, I remember the last time when I was here, Colin, I was telling you that, look, while we have been fishing, as Ben Exeter likes to put it, we have been fishing in the same way as Jesus of Nazareth did, with Peter the fisherman and other folks for over millions of years. We have been doing fishing that kind of way. And see, the Minister of the Grenadines, we have basically stuck the same way since independence. We have the same one man or two men going out into the boat to fish. We have the same train and whatnot. And we have persons going and guess, do things by the guess. Nowadays, we have technologies available to help fisher folks identify fish areas, fishing grounds. That is the way we have to go. Because we have to realize, it's a very costly thing to fish.
Right.
You have the resources, you need your gas to get into certain areas because the fish is not on the shoreline anymore. They're out into the deep.
Right.
So we must have gas to get there. We must have proper engine. Nowadays, in terms of safety, we are talking about things like proper GPS system for the fisher folks.
So how do we
provide the training for use of these things or whatnot?
So how do we improve on all of that? Our fishing boats, our storage capacities, gas, because that is something that is important to fishermen too as well, the availability of gas. How do you see us making this all work? There have been talks about a fishing co-op and all of that as well.
And you see, and the thing is, Colin, these are things that have been tried and tested in the past. Where, for example, the fishermen were in cooperatives. Right? There was a very profitable one in Kingston, where they have their own gas station, and they were able to sell gas at a cheaper rate to their members, rather than the commercial rates offered at the regular gas stations. So if we could have something like that, where you could have the fuel bulk buying, and the retailer or the fisher folk would buy it at a reduced rate. This in itself will help to save on gasoline and will give them the opportunity to get the required amount and to go deep. Also, Colin, we have to look at inboard engine.
Right.
Redesigning of our fishing boat. Look right next to in Barbados, for example. They have fishing boats that are designed for them to stay hours, days out into the sea.
Right.
Where they could catch the fish and store them on board. And when they reach ashore, they have fresh fish. One of the things that, as I mentioned Barbados, Colin, one of the things that we in St. Vincent have not been capitalizing on over the years is catching things like flying fish. That's not only a Barbados thing, that's also a Vincentian thing. I remember growing up with my grandfather in Pettibodel. He used to bring home scores of flying fish. But we don't see that anymore. Because our fisher folks today do not engage in flying fishing like the older folks did. And even the flying fish are in our waters. So there's something that, there are so many ways, my brother, that we can continue in fishing, but we do it with a modern touch. Using the available technology in terms of our boat building, in terms of our safety at sea, in terms of our reaching where the fish, where the fish is at. And that's so many things that we can do to improve what we have now compared to what we had in the past.
How do you see that creating more jobs in the fishing industry under an NDP administration?
Now, Colin, as I mentioned, let me give a good example, right? Simply, we talk about a fishing cooperative. You're going to need people to run the cooperative, okay?
Right.
Because most fishermen would prefer to be on the sea catching the fish.
Right.
You need people to run and administer the work, the everyday operations of the gas station and whatnot. If we are thinking the way I'm thinking in terms of storing fish Not only because we would not be able to sell everything at the same time, we must.
Right.
So who knows? We might even go into processing of fish. You know, when we look around, for example, on a sea and throw on a daily basis, or when
So you're talking about creating industries.
creating industries, using that as a background.
Right.
So we could have jobs at every step of the way. You could link industries as well, or link ministries, Ministry of Health with Ministry of Agriculture, with education, and see the benefits that could be derived. And while doing so, along the way, we are going to create jobs. When we say to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Colin, that we are going to bring back the development bank, that will make it possible, Colin, for young entrepreneurs and other people to get access to loans at a lower interest rates. They make investment. When you invest, jobs automatically are being created. So we are going to create the environment. And once we create the environment for agriculture, for fishing, and in other economic viable sectors, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will see jobs being created, and we will also see an improve in people's lives. Colin, let me tell you something. While we are on this whole blue economy subject, shipbuilding, for example, and boat repairs, this is something that we have practiced in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for years. But if you look carefully, in many of the locals, when I say local, the areas where boat building, boat repairs were being done, it is non-existent today, or if it is happening, but not on a large scale. You know, I remember when we did some big wooden boat made right in Beckway. Or I remember in Rosebank, for example, one of those boats were made in North Leon. Right. I remember it was a big thing when they had the boat. We get to push it off into this. It was a big thing. We don't see these things anymore.
So it's bringing all of that back.
So, and this is where we have and listen, this is sometimes when I look at these things, you know, I thought I get excited. Because I recall Sir James Mitchell, over 25 years ago, had the vision, over 35 years ago, to bring to St. Vincent the Otley Hall Marina. You know, when you go down there to that site and you see the remnant, you had hotel, you had conference center, you had supermarket, you had place you could go and buy your supply, you have the all the machinery to build parts, to put your boat, and you know, there's a retractable dry dock in Otley Hall. One of the first anywhere in the Eastern Caribbean, including Trinidad and Tobago. We had, as a matter of fact, the Otley Hall project, when the people from Shagaramas, a famous place in Trinidad where they do boat repairs and whatnot, came to St. Vincent, they modeled the one at Shagaramas from what they saw at Otley Hall.
So it was a project way beyond its time.
Exactly. And if we were serious, and I say we, I mean the people of St. Vincent, including the government, when they came into office in 2021, they made a project that was ready to take off. But all they were interested in is to put somebody in jail to say they take money. In the end, that turned out to be nothing. But the point is, the Otley Hall project was there, and this is where we believe, in terms of our boat building and repair, we have the infrastructure in place. Yes, it will take time and money to get up and running, but it's something that we can do because the benefit is tremendous. Job creation and an economic activity could allow Otley Hall to play a very important role in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I said to creating jobs and also to improve people's livelihood. So there are so many things, Colin, that we can do. And I envisage that when the New Democratic Party get in office and we put these things into operation, we, the people of SVG, would be better off.
All right, you've been putting on a lot of heavy stuff here so far. I want us to go back again to the fisheries and being able to sustain ourselves. There's been this argument that we're overfishing in our waters and water. What are some of the ways, in terms of, as a progressive government on an NDP administration, we can look at being able to sustain ourselves with fishing, not necessarily in that of venturing out in the seas? There's a lot of talk about aquaculture, right? What are the possibilities of looking at that going forward on an NDP administration?
I'm so glad you put it that way, Colin, because as you said, overfishing, right? Now, the definition I gave you for the blue economy, the World Bank definition, it says part of it says improve livelihoods and creating jobs while preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem. That, Colin, falls directly into the point that you're making. And the point is that in this world, everything that we do, there will come a time when we might be doing too much. Now, aquaculture, as you mentioned, that is what we call like farming, using the land itself and water to grow fish. Not even the land, you could do it in the sea. You just partition an area of the seawater,
right,
and you could do the same thing in the sea. So the sea fish.
So you would have fish farms.
The salt water fish is like a fish farm, but in the sea itself.
More job creations again.
Exactly, because you would need people to man these operations. I have seen in Taiwan, for example, I've been there, and I have seen where they use the coastline. And in St. Vincent, it is ideal for that. When I say ideal, you notice, because we have a lot of bays and inlets in the country, if you run a straight line from one headland to the other, you chop everything on the inside and on the sea. So we could have something like that, where we could use the natural formation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to build fish farms. You could do it in certain areas. It wouldn't be every area because you would need some for recreation and whatnot. But there are a number of areas in the country where we can use what we have. And I always use this term. We can use what we have to get what we want. Colin, this aquaculture initiative, in terms of a sector within the blue economy again, this has tremendous potential for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are a nation that traditionally we have developed, and fishing made a tremendous contribution to our livelihood in the past, and continue to do so now, and will do so in the future. The aquaculture fishing is important. It is something that we in the NDP we have looked at, and we are talking to people about how we could go forward, and the feedbacks are positive. So while I wouldn't want to give all the details now, but as I say to you, this is another area that we're thinking about job creation. We are doing things to create jobs in our country for our young people and for them to have a better life than they're having now.
Now, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is clearly an island. We're surrounded by water. We continue to struggle with our energy problems, and how do we provide and sustain ourselves with natural energy and water. How can we look at our marine surroundings to help solve our energy problem in this country?
Very good again. Like you're reading my mind. I don't know if you have some kind of psychic cause on there, but again, Colin, when I mentioned there are sectors within the blue economy, I did say to you, right, that we have what we call emerging sectors and established sectors. Within the emerging sector, Colin, the technology is advancing. Okay, you have a lot of robotics that is involved today. While robotics is not a new terminology, but it has been around for a while. But in terms of using the technique with the blue economy to create jobs and for improved livelihood, we have also seen that you hear about ocean, they use a term called ocean energy. That's where they use the ocean itself, the natural wave, the actual waves, to generate electricity.
Right.
We have what we call offshore ocean wind energy. You plant windmills in the sea,
right,
in areas that winds are constant, turning turbines, creating electricity. So in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I always say, we do not have to look at our small size and believe it limits us. As a matter of fact, we are so poised. We are in the middle of the ocean, as an island, then, put it that way, Caribbean Sea in the ocean. And we can benefit from our position, where we can use opportunities. And that is why in the New Democratic Party, one of the driving force that the NDP will adopt is that of involvement of foreign direct investment, where we will be partnering with persons or institutions that have these ideas and are looking for partnership out there. We know of these things, and we intend to capitalize on them to the fullest. And Colin, going forward, the NDP, as I said earlier on, preserving the ocean ecosystem. Watch that. We talk about gas emission. On the road, a car going up the road and smoking and whatnot, and people tell you the kind of gas that it emits, dangerous for health.
Right.
While that may be so, in using the blue technology, like for example the transportation of people, goods on the high seas, while there will be emission, yes, but not the emission would not be as dangerous as what we have on the land. As a matter of fact, it is argued that of all the bad gases that emitted, 3% of that is done from the marine area. You know, and I am saying, Colin, it is an excited period. And we foresee that in the new Democratic Party, where we as a nation can benefit going forward.
We can clearly see here that, as we are surrounded by water, that we can see so many solutions coming from our surroundings, being that of salt water. We're right now presently in the dry season, even though I think today or yesterday was the official start of the hurricane season. One of the major problems that we've been seeing of late is severe drought as a result to a record long
72 years, I think somebody said that we haven't had a drought this bad.
Right. How can a blue economy improve on our ability to provide water for us as a nation? There's been talks of desalination plants. Again, we're looking at the possibilities here of a blue economy. Is this the direction that we should be going in the future?
Exactly. Our point, the venerable Daniel Cummins, I've always talked about this with a passion. My brother, and it is right on the ball in the context of the New Democratic Party and what we are planning, what we are doing behind the scene to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines a better place.
Right.
The Grenadines are part of our states. We are a plural country. And for donkey years now, there's always this problem of water during the dry season.
Right.
This is modern time. This is 2020. But yet our collection is being done the same way as it was many moons ago. We have to change that. We have to advance the country to the times that we are living in. Desalination now has been around for as long as I can remember, even before my time.
Right.
But in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are doing it at a very, very small scale. Some private entities or some NGOs might have a bit of input. But we need to tackle this thing from a government perspective. And join with established NGOs and other environmental groupings who are interested in doing such project. If we do that, desalination, we could transform the Grenadines for the transforming Grenadines than where it is today. Right now, they are bringing in the most money to St. Vincent and the Grenadines as far as tourism is concerned. But I must admit that they are not being treated fairly. And one of the ways to give back, as I should say, to the Grenadines is to ensure that they have, like we in St. Vincent do for most of the part, a regular supply of fresh water. To do that, we could have a desalination processing plant in the islands going down in such a way that everybody could benefit. And it is something Dr. Friday speaks about it with a passion. Everybody is on board with it, and we need to get this done. And as I said, that is why we are looking at this blue economy in such a positive way, because we do believe that St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be better. It would create jobs because, you notice, all these things, my brother, would require working during the construction phase and the maintenance phase, and the everyday operation of these plants will require people to work. So they see the job creation coming in there. All the time, and everything we do, we are cognizant of the fact that we must create jobs for our people.
All right. Now, obviously, in all of this, it brings now the concern, maritime security, conservation of our coastal waters and our fishing waters. Why is this going to be so important now that we make sure that we protect what is our biggest and some of our biggest natural resources?
Well, you know, the ocean constitutes about 71% of planet Earth. There are 29, there's land. And what are the 29? Some of those not even habitable. So you see how great the ocean is. And there must be a reason for that. That's how the Most High designed this master plan.
Right.
And hence the reason why man, in his effort for his own survival, must ensure that whatever he does to the environment, he do it within a way that would regenerate or sustain life for generation. In terms of security, our country security, in terms of the marine security, is based on its nautical miles. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because of our plural nature, we have a bigger sea space, so to speak, than most of the islands within our area. We are right down to Grenada. As a matter of fact, you could stay in the northern part of St. Vincent, Petit Martinique, Petit St. Vincent, sorry, and you could throw a stone across the border to Petit Martinique. That will tell you how close we are to Grenada. But in terms of our security, I don't know if this is what you want to get from me, in terms of our maritime security, we have to ensure, Colin, that we have the services of our coast guards, to patrol it, because we have to be cognizant of things like illegal trading on the seawater, whether in contraband or in jugs. We have to be cognizant of that. So we have to beef up the security as well of our marine environment. Doing so, bearing in mind our nautical miles advantage. So while we have a small island, yes, but we have a very large sea space. To do that effectively, we must have the manpower necessary to be able to patrol and manage our land space. And you see, Colin, that is why, some people might say, but all these plans, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do this? That is why our leader, Dr. Friday, and our party has adopted the Citizens by Investment program, because we know for a fact that with a program like this running, that we would have the resources, we would have more people working. When more people work in, they contribute more to the tax base. And all of this would help to create more jobs and also put financing in the areas that we see, such as security of our nation and other investment that we could make from a St. Vincent perspective. We don't have to, as I said, the idea is, we know we can't do it alone. We plan to partner with people who have the technology, and people who are very much aware of what they're doing. We are doing so with the environment in mind, and we will be successful. That's the only hope that we have in terms of getting the things done.
Let me ask you this. As an NDP administration going forward, what is the one thing that excites you the most, that you want to see done with the NDP?
My brother, there's so many things that excite, but one of the things that I would like to see is that our party in office helping Vincentians to improve on their livelihood, whether it by job creation or provide a better place for all of us in SVG. That is my aim. I want to see our party as in government, creating the opportunities for our people, so that the people in return can improve their livelihood. No more depending on begging to politicians to give you a handout here, a handout there. Don't boast about things like the public assistance program that we do. I think that we believe that, as they say, teach a man to fish rather than give him a fish. Because when you teach him to fish, he will catch his own fish.
All right. Quite a bit we've been discussing here tonight on the NDP Monday Night Live. If you're just tuning in, with us on the program tonight, it's the Vice President of the New Democratic Party, the Honorable Patel Matthews. He's the elected representative for the NDP in North Leeward, and we continue to talk on the importance of the Ministry of Agriculture and, of course, the all-new Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Conservation. One of the new ministries, the New Democratic Party administration is looking at implementing going forward. Patel, you've been talking quite extensively on all of these issues. What would you like to say directly now to the voters out there who are listening, and not necessarily just the voters, but, for example, fisher folks who are keen and interested in getting involved in this whole new blue economy that you're talking about? What would you like to say to them tonight more than anything else?
Well, Colin, we in the New Democratic Party we want to let the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines know that we mean business. We have been talking the mantra, jobs, jobs, jobs. That is what we are looking for our people. Because if we do that, it will have an all-out effect on everyone. Colin, but in order for us to achieve our objectives, we have to be in government to do that.
Right.
This is what people need to know. Because sometimes, Colin, there are people who believe that to them, yeah, all you're only talking now because of your position. We are talking now, Colin, because the NDP believe that change is coming. Okay? We are very much believing that hope, I always say, Colin, that our party, the New Democratic Party, I look at us as the light at the end of the tunnel. At this point in our history, at this point, you could see that people are losing hope. The pettiness, the political atmosphere in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one sometimes, you see it on social media, where people sometimes are saying, I am not proud to be a Vinci anymore. You are seeing young people who are doing things that unheard of. Young men, mental, as we say, they're gone through. We are seeing our young ladies resort to all manner of things to get by. We are seeing our older, senior citizens can't even make ends meet. We are seeing people who has their children going to school and cannot even get food to give them. Uniform, shoes. And there are so many problems. Healthcare. All kind of issues are affecting our people. As a politician, sometimes, especially when in a position, it aches me to know that there is so little I can do. I do, but I am limited in terms of the resources I have. I believe that we in the New Democratic Party will do things differently, Colin. And I want to say to the people out there of my country, the New Democratic Party will do things differently. And it is evident. Look at what we are offering you and compare that with what you have. From the leader right now. Dr. Friday is a man of the people. A man who wants to conversate with you. Not want to shout down at you, embarrass or insult you. His demeanor has been a man that everybody gravitates to this man. People love him. And I want the people of St. Vincent now to transfer that love into votes. And hence the reason why we are coming forward with initiatives to improve people's lives, to make your life better, to help you to get a job. As Friday say, we must create a job so people who want a job can get a job. And as I say, we are looking at different ways to do that. In agriculture and fisheries, I am projecting, I am saying to people, this is what we will do to make your life better, Colin. We talk about agriculture and what we intend to do in that area, and I've been doing that for years. But because we have decided to create this new ministry of fisheries and marine conservation, a ministry that has tremendous potential for a country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines. When you look around the world, the small developed countries, the SDCs, are very vulnerable. I mentioned that earlier on. And we have to do things that take into consideration our small size and our vulnerability. And stuff that I talk about here tonight, where we have to look at the blue economy in a serious way, Colin. And by doing that, and put into practice some of the initiatives, some of the ideas I talk about here tonight. You know, and doing so, they are going to create jobs, Colin. They are going to improve, and by job creation, we are going to see an improvement in people's lives. You know, and you know, sometimes when you get to discuss ideas and initiative with people, because sometimes we like to limit ourselves, what you say to them sounds over the top. Like some people don't even want to believe it's possible. But never make a small size, and we should never make our small size. Underestimate what we can do as a people.
So under an NDP administration, we can get this done.
We can get this done. And I believe, Colin, that we have what it takes. When you look at our, and that's why I say, you know, I want people to draw the comparison. From Dr. Friday, Major Leacock, Daniel Cummins, you know, Senator Bruce, Senator Kibakas, Nature, myself, and all the other candidates. People like Fitz Bramble coming in from Senegal. People who have been tried and tested. You know, our brother from North Central, brother Chieftain. These are guys who have been tried and tested and will make a positive contribution to this country. Persons who have been on the battlefield and know what it is to fight the war, because in a small country like St. Vincent, sometimes survival and make ends meet is akin to a war. And we are prepared, Colin, to fight the fight for the betterment of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the promise, you know. That's the promise of the New Democratic Party. That's the promise that we are making to the people. You know, I say to people, Colin, sometimes we look at our meager resources, you know, and we say, boy, I wish things could be better. But I'm telling you tonight that things can be better and things will be better. I believe that. Because what I am saying to you here tonight, you know, the kind of idea that we have, we are not looking in any way at rocket science, you know, because in most cases, we have it here already.
All the resources.
We just need to improve on them. We just need to improve on them. I told people a couple of years ago, the Caribbean Development Bank, or the ECCB, did a survey for all the OECS countries. I think what the ECCB did the survey. The purpose of the survey was to determine why tourists come to the Caribbean or come to the OECS countries. They identified 8 reasons. St. Vincent and the Grenadines had all 8.
All 8.
Whether good beaches, good snorkeling site, friendly people, you name it. We have all 8. But we were almost at the bottom.
Because we have not been capitalizing.
Exactly, we were almost at the bottom in terms of visitor arrivals and stay over visits. Because we have it, you know, but we're not using it to get what we want. Prime example, look, let me keep it in house in the fishing. We have a similar fishing ground with, say, Barbados, Grenada, and those countries are making millions off of fish. While we are just making the pickings. Look, we have our quota in terms of the Atlantic tuna fish, where tunas are fishing millions of dollars worldwide.
Right. It's a big market.
Big market. Sometimes depending on the quality and the type of tuna fish. 100 US per pound, 150 US per pound, per pound, you know, Colin. But we prefer to give that right to other people to use our flag to catch our fish. We're not getting any benefit from that. Any major benefit. We need to get that benefit. To do that, we have to let our people know, here now, we have this, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have the right to this quota of tuna. We could give the support in terms of resources to make it possible for you to get the boat or that to go and do that. Make it possible. Because when you
provide certain concessions.
Yes, concessions. We have to provide that. Every day in the parliament we do that.
To give local fishermen and persons who looking at the possibilities of venturing out and
so we do things
make it easier for them.
To give them the opportunity to do that. Because our people will not know what is out there. Right. We have to say, well, here, if you decide to venture into this particular area, this project, this initiative, here is the advantage of doing so.
Right.
You might get to import your materials at a reduced cost or at a certain percentage discount. You know,
And
you may get
again-
a couple of years moratorium and taxes and whatnot. We have to do things to make people interested
And
want
again,
to get. You know?
you're creating job opportunities.
Well, exactly. Every step along the way. The idea is when we improve in the lives of our people, the job opportunity is right alongside of it.
So the main focus again here in almost everything that the New Democratic Party is focusing its approach on going forward in all of the sectors, including your shadow ministry, is that of creating jobs,
Creating
as many
jobs.
jobs as much as possible.
Yes.
Right across the board
Right across
in
the board.
different aspects.
There are too many people in St. Vincent College who are dependent on government for handouts. You know? As if, well, that is, government is there to be like a welfare department. No, we need to get our people to work.
How do you see that strengthening us as a nation and strengthening our economy?
Colin, watch now. Our people have pride. You see, Vincentian, we have a very proud people.
That's true.
Very proud people.
That's true.
And once we give the Vincentian man or woman the opportunity to soar, they will soar. They will go to the highest. You know something? When you look at those Vincentians, Colin, who have made it throughout the world in their particular field, they do so because somebody say, let me take a chance on this person. Let me give them the support necessary. Let me point them in the right direction.
Right.
So we have to adopt a similar approach to our people. Our young people, our young men today are at risk, Colin. We need to get them into the fore and provide them with the vehicle necessary to get to their destination. That is the way we have to go. It's not a matter of saying, well, we can't do it because they were small size. We must not say we're not thinking big because we are small. No, I believe that we can do it as much as any other nation. You know, when people sometimes they hear of West Virginia, where is that? You know, we have to take the kind of stigma, you know, of our country. Make the world know that West Virginia is a place that is very friendly to investment. Our people are hard working. Our farmers are hard working. Our fisher folks will toil hard to get their catch and get a good wage, good money for their catch. And that is the way people have to feel proud of what they are doing going forward. And we, as a party, we want to facilitate that kind of process. We want to help you along the way. Not to say do it for you, but point you in the right direction. As I say, teach you to fish. That give you a fish every time.
So the New Democratic Party moving forward as a part of a progressive government, a Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Conservation, and a blue economy.
Well, the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Conservation is clearing the path
For the blue
economy.
All right.
This ministry is what is going to make it happen.
And create all the jobs.
Create the jobs
All
in
right.
this particular sector.
As we come to the end of another interesting program tonight, Patel, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are walking away with a lot to chew on here tonight. I'm going to give you the opportunity. Anything specifically you want to say, especially to your constituents tonight?
Well, constituency of North Leeward, I always say that we are the most beautiful constituency on the mainland, Colin, and there is no doubt about that. Yeah? There is no doubt about that. And it is, you see, I say people don't doubt me, want to see for yourself. Want to see for yourself. North Leeward is St. Vincent's beauty spot. I see the cameraman looking at us and laughing because he in agreement. And here, I want the people of North Leeward to know, to stand for. I want them to know tonight that better days are coming. I want them to know that their livelihood is not, they don't come around every 6 months before election. That is when some people choose to give them goodies. They are better than that. I want the people of North Leeward to know that with the New Democratic Party, we want to help create jobs in North Leeward. Not out of North Leeward. We want to build the North Leeward economy. And I say to them, when we unfold some of the ideas that we have in store for North Leeward, it will be the envy of a lot of areas because we have the potential. You know, apart from the Grenadines in the Colin, I believe North Leeward is the only other constituency that can secede if they wish to do.
that can
secede from St. Vincent because we have the resources to do so. But we will not do so, you know why? We are one nation, one Vinci, one people. And while our people are feeling the pain of hardship, while our people are struggling to make ends meet, I always listen, and Dr. Friday words bring such nice solace when he says, put the money where the pain is. Colin, tells you that this party mean business. Colin, I see better days ahead for our country. I see Dr. Friday as leader of SVG going forward, and I believe that SVG and its people will be better for it.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think that will bring us to the end of our Monday Night Live here tonight. I was your host, Colin Graham, and our guest again.
Yes, man.
Another powerful and dynamic presentation. The Honorable Patel Matthews. He's the elected representative for North Leeward on the NDP, as well as he is a spokesperson on agriculture and the future Minister of Fisheries and Marine Conservation here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Patel, thank you very much for being with us on the program.
Anytime.
Bongse. You know how it is.
Well, I'm glad we started time before we came in, so that's why we're saying, man. But anyway, we have to tell our people to continue to be safe, practice the
social distance
protocol, and ensure that we keep COVID at bay.
All right. Thank you very much. And for the viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching us. Remember, you can join us again next Monday night for another edition of Monday Night Live. I'm your host, Colin Graham. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a good night.